Back to JKLive here at Citizen Television. It is exactly 2 minutes past the hour, 10 o'clock, and it's ladies' night tonight, folks. It's going to be a good one. Sit back for this one. Super North Member of Parliament Millie Odhiambo is in the house, as is Nakuru County Senator Susan Kihika. Ladies, good to see you again.
And you too. Nice to see you.
Look, 13 days into 2021.
Oh, wow.
13 days.
Wow. Yes.
And politics is already in high octane as we speak.
Typical Kenya.
Crazy. It's crazy.
What should we watch?
It's across.
Huh?
Intra-party and across party.
Yes.
It's Kenyan. That's who we are.
Is it too premature?
We love politics. It's premature legally, but that's who we are. We love politicking 24/7. I think it started much earlier, but now it's even getting more. Yeah. It's getting more heated.
Senator, it looks like politics is our gospel. It's our religion.
It's actually scary because when, like you said, when you think that we are only on the 13th of January, we still have the whole year to go. Yet you would think elections are around the corner.
Only and a half.
And a half, actually.
Yeah, because it's up to August.
Oh,
so
yes.
It's almost 2 years, actually.
Almost 2 years.
It's almost 2 years.
But
2 years less, 4 months.
Yeah. You would think the elections are in like 3 months. And it doesn't seem to get any... It just seems to just keep going heavier and heavier and heavier. I don't know. But I guess that's who we are as a people. We just like politics, I think.
But why, Mheshimiwa? Why is it? I mean, there are other things to deal with. There's COVID to deal with. There's economy to deal with.
Well, tell that also to Kenyans. Because sometimes, there are times actually we blame leaders, but sometimes it's the citizens that also set the tempo. That people want the politics. You go to a place, you just talk, you know, you say hi. Like I remember there's a place I went to, and after I just greeted people and I went to start, they said, please come back and tell us about BBI.
Or when
and I had to go back and tell them about BBI.
They want to know.
Yes, they want to know.
Yeah.
So we, as a population, as a community, as a nation, Kenyans love politicking. We love listening to politics, talking politics. You know, I think there are 2 things, no, actually 3 things that preoccupy Kenyans a lot. Politics, soccer, and you know, Manu is at the top.
At the top,
you know,
yeah.
So just so that you know, soccer and religion. Yeah. And then the religion, unfortunately, now is getting intertwined with politics. So that's Kenya for you. But then again, America is catching up. So I think we are in...
And I think we are in good company.
It was a week ago. It was a week ago.
Exactly a week ago,
right? On the 6th of January. My goodness, what a shame in Washington, D.C. Okay, so let's face it, Senator. It looks like the politicians now are using events such as funerals and church services to attack each other, to go after each other. The president at Mama Hana Mudavadi's funeral, he went after his deputy. You know, an unveiled threat of sort of, but he went after him. The next day, right here in Kayole, deputy went right back. Is this the relationship that, is this what it's become?
Well, Jeff, I'll be very honest. When I saw, because I was also watching what was happening at Mama Hana's funeral, I don't necessarily think the president went after his deputy, but I also completely disagreed with what the president said that day at the funeral. I think it was actually out of order, because for the president of the Republic of Kenya, who is our symbol of unity, to keep taking us back to tribalism and ethnicity, I think it was just wrong. And I also think it was okay that the deputy president responded the way he responded the next day in Kayole, because some things cannot just be left unsaid, cannot be left unchallenged. So I don't speak for the president, but I would dare say that I was shocked, actually, when I heard him talk about the 2 tribes that should not be able to get the presidency or should not be considered. So I wondered, as Susan Kihika, or have a friend called Kamau Punda in Naivasha. Now, because Uhuru Kenyatta, Mwai Kibaki, and the president's father have been presidents, that should automatically just eliminate us from those positions in the future or even now. So I think it was unfortunate. I think though that kind of talk has no place in the country, and especially so coming from the president, who is a symbol of unity.
By the way, is Kamau Punda, is he watching?
I hope so.
Oh,
and
okay.
if he is, I am saying hi.
Shimiwa,
yes.
Come on, man. This talk. Yeah,
let me tell you,
yes.
as my good friend Susan is talking,
yes.
you know, I'm just amused. You know, I'm wondering, do I react or what? Because sometimes you actually think that I'm either mental or they are mental. The reason why I'm saying this is that for a whole year, Susan and her team have been going around the Dynasty story. Mm-hmm. And what the president did, and I want to thank the president for that. I don't support ethnicity and stuff like that, but I thank the president for starting or restarting that conversation. And the reason it's done is that what Susan and her team with the deputy president have been saying is that because your father was president, because your father was prime minister, because your father was this, then you should never think about being anything in this country, which also excludes her, because when I was in class 1, I already knew about her father, so she is dynasty. I am an almost dynasty. I'm not a dynasty because I'm an almost dynasty because my father was not an MP like hers, but my father was a member of regional assembly. So if that is the case, then we should start me, her, and anybody, their fathers or mothers have ever been anything elected, should not vie for any position, including those whose parents or children have served in any position in government, like William Ruto, whose daughter is an ambassador. He's dynasty, so his daughter is dynasty, is dynasty, his wife is dynasty, she's a dynasty. So we are all dynasty.
We're all dynasty.
That is a class war. And you know, let me tell you, regrettably, somebody sent me, I wish I could show you here on my Facebook, that yesterday, a man who has worked hard, started, I'm told, as a matatu tout, bought a car, and unfortunately got involved in an accident with a motorbike rider. Mm-hmm. His car was towed, and they were killing him. And while they were doing that, they were shouting, Dynasty. So Dynasty has become a class war. And they started it, and what the president was basically telling them, I'm sure the president did literature, because he was basically using one of the literary devices to tell them what you are doing is wrong, and do not point at the speck in my eye when you have a log in your own. You started a class war. And so I am telling you that you can do what the president told them. If you want to push it into class war, we can also bring on the ethnic war. Yeah. And Millie Odhiambo will also bring in a gender war. I'll tell you, let no man now be president or prime minister, let the women now come in. So we can look at different, and before we know it, we will also move to a religious one. The Muslims might tell you now we don't want Christians. So this dynasty thing, I can tell you, the more you continue with the dynasty, the more the ethnic angle will come in. So it's a wrong thing to do. It's a wrong thing
Jeff,
to do.
before you go to a different question or to another question, first of all, I think my friend here, Millie, got it wrong. When we talk about hustlers, we have never excluded dynasties. And by the way, I will say that when we talk about, or when you hear others talking about dynasty, I would probably fit that scenario. But what the hustler nation, which I also say myself, I'm a hustler as well, it's not about excluding those whose fathers have had positions such as the president, as myself, as Millie, as Raila Odinga, and Mudavadi and others. What the hustler nation or the hustler thing is about is saying that even those whose fathers were nothing before can now have a seat at the table and be part of the conversation. Even that guy who pushes a wheelbarrow, a motorbike, or mkokoteni can now be at the table, and it's not always going to be about the big boys or about those whose fathers have held positions or about, like Millie said, we women being excluded from being at the table. But I also understand it is something that is really resonating with Kenyans. It is something that goes beyond regions. It's not about Rift Valley, it goes across. I was in Mombasa the other day, in Kwale, and it's resonating. So that is why I think my sisters here group want to sort of pigeonhole it into being a class war. It's not about class. And by the way, hustlers is not even about poverty. It's about that spirit of entrepreneurship, of inclusion, and of also saying that anybody can be at the table and should be included in the conversation. And in conclusion, Jeff, by merely saying that the president was right to talk about that. Nobody, by the way, said that the president, or let me rephrase that. I did not elect, because I know Millie did not even vote for him.
No, I did.
In 2013?
No, I did not. No, I did not.
Thank you. So I did not vote for him just because he was a Kikuyu. Do you understand? Because even when he ran, say in 2013, there was Peter Kenneth and there was a lady that I admire so much, Martha Karua. And we didn't go for them. We went for the president because, and we did not vote for him because he's the son of Jomo. We went for him because we believed in his vision. Now, the jury is still out as to whether we were right or wrong, and that is a conversation for another day. But at the time, we did not vote for him because he's a Kikuyu. So for him to stand there and say that because he was president and his father was president and Kibaki was president, that no Kikuyu, we should now move to, and probably Millie would like that, because maybe for the first time through that rotation, they may be able to get Raila Odinga a seat at the table. And what we are saying is, look at Nyamakima. While Uhuru Kenyatta was president, that is when the people who sell in Mount Kenya, many from Mount Kenya, in Nyamakima, that is when their businesses have collapsed. So by just saying that because he's in power, nobody from that tribe should be able to get in power, that is wrong. And I will say it again, it was especially shocking and wrong coming from the president of the Republic of Kenya.
I can tell you, that the same thing she's saying is exactly what the president did. It's about inclusivity. That the way you are saying the people who are driving kokotenis and selling omena should be at the table, is the same way a person from Turkana should be at the table. It's the same way a person from Suba like myself should be elected president. It's the same way a Kamba should be president. Why can't we have a Kamba president? Why can't we have a Luya president? Yeah. Why can't we have a Somali president? We should. Why can't we have president from Mijikenda?
We should.
Why must we have volleyball? Why must we have changing from one to the other? If you go dynasty, the other group will go volleyball. So it's either class war,
it is not
or an ethnic war.
And by the way, Millie,
it is a wrong thing that you guys are doing.
But Millie, by saying
you should stop
nobody
it. But if you don't do it, no,
nobody is saying that you as a Suba
we are also not excluding. We are not also excluding. We are also including. We are also including Turkana.
Seek votes.
We are including the Kiksi.
And if you are able
we are including the Masai. We are including even us. We are not excluding. We are just including the Masai.
Before you exclude me from this conversation,
we are including the Kuria, the Masai, the Meru, the Embu. We are including.
Nobody is excluding.
No, we are also including.
Let me ask you this.
We are also including them.
Seek votes.
You know, Mheshimiwa,
yes.
That picture you were talking about earlier, the border guys burning the car. I've seen several of those. It looks like they've become a whole menace to society, these border guys. And I think it's because, you know, it may or may not have something to do with the hustler narrative.
It's a very dangerous narrative.
It has nothing to do with the
hustler narrative. It is a dangerous narrative.
Oh, you go first.
And if you continue with the hustler narrative, I can assure you, you are moving in the wrong path. Sort of like what we have seen in the US. The things we say as leaders, I know even me, I'm a victim sometimes, you know, like there was a time when I didn't call the president very good names. And I can tell you, people were telling me, why am I attacking the Kikuyus? And I went home and I said, which Kikuyus? I was addressing the president. But then suddenly, the Kikuyus felt I was attacking them. So it means us as leaders, whether we like it or not, the same way the President Trump is saying, I didn't tell people to go out and say this. But how are people interpreting what you're saying? And if people are interpreting it as an attack, they will also give a counter narrative that will counter yours. So either we retreat and get a narrative that enables us to sell a vote without pulling the country apart, or we get headlong, all of us, because everybody can create a narrative. And the president was basically telling you, hey, you are pushing a class war. Thanks, Malu, I can even push. You are pushing a class war. I will push.
And I'll just say one thing that I agree with you, Millie.
Yes.
When you abuse the president then, or used unkind words,
yes,
we would never have said that you abused or insulted the Kikuyus.
No, it was said online.
No, but I'm saying the same way, Uhuru Kenyatta being president does not mean that the Kikuyu community is president, okay? It is him as an individual who is president. But beyond that,
But that is not actually the reality in Kenya. Otherwise, would be, that is not, we are not like Democrats that go issue-based.
I'm not in control of how you want to interpret it.
Our politics.
Can I finish my point? No, it is, and it always will be.
It is.
And let me finish what I was saying. Nowhere, and I would challenge you to have your media people play it. Nowhere have there been what you're trying to imply, as though the Hustler Nation has said, go after the rich and eat the rich. Nobody has said that. What Millie and her group are saying, and we have heard and seen it many times, they are a little bit uncomfortable because the hustler narrative it's resonating with Kenyans across the board, regardless of tribe, regardless of socio-economic status, regardless of what region you're from. And now you cannot then sit there and tell us that we need to find another narrative. Ours is working just fine.
In the same way, don't ask us to find another narrative. We will also go with it. But why are you complaining? No, it is working.
It doesn't work.
I have listened to it. I was with Bishop Wanjiru when we were doing Reloaded. She started that narrative that Uhuru Kenyatta, the same one, that you are complaining about Uhuru Kenyatta saying.
The Kikuyus.
Yes. Bishop Wanjiru said it.
Said what?
Boni Halwale said it.
Said what?
Mudama
that
said it. That said we should not. In fact, Mudama said, you think other communities do not dance in the same bed and give birth?
And
is it only
what we are saying?
Mudama, Halwale,
can I finish
Bishop Wanjiru
allow me to finish my point.
And it also resonates with Kenyans.
No, what we are saying
that the same thing President Uhuru
then
says
Millie go out there.
With all
let me finish. Okay. Millie won't let me finish. What I'm saying is we know that our narrative, and not just a narrative actually, that it is actually working, this inclusivity. And I can tell they are very threatened by that, because it is. But what I'm saying
we are
is,
not
whatever it is that their narrative is,
whatever their narrative is, complain about President Uhuru.
Oh, I will, all day long.
Yeah, so then even me don't complain. Don't complain about the hustler thing.
Listen.
Don't complain when we also attack.
Can I finish?
You said you voted for him.
I voted for him. She did not. So she's not going to sit here and tell me, don't complain about Uhuru.
Because you are also, you've also changed. You've also changed positions.
All day long.
You voted for him. I didn't vote for him. You have abandoned him. You have abandoned him. I have taken over to protect him. I have taken over to protect him where you abandoned him.
And he'll continue being wrong. The narrative of the hustlers, the
she's acknowledging that she was wrong. Why should we trust you?
What about who was wrong?
No,
who was wrong?
She's saying Uhuru was wrong.
No, when you sold him
to us. So are you saying that you are wrong? So why should we trust you?
Who sold him?
Why should you trust you with your hustler nation again?
Who sold him to you?
You?
Millie, hold on.
You sold to us.
How?
On TV, on the streets, all over. You are jumping all over.
And we were able to get people to vote for him, right? So what I'm challenging you.
What is on tena? Wakenya twasema. Uhuru Ruto. Tano tena. We know the song, my dear. You sold President Uhuru Kenyatta.
Tialala didn't work.
Yeah, but so, now your switch is working. No, I am the one defending, so you are wrong.
No, listen.
And I was right.
I wasn't wrong.
No,
I believed what I believed then, and so I exercised my vote and my people's vote in that way. Now, Uhuru is going home in less than 20 months. So I don't even think we should be here being petty about Uhuru.
No, we are not being petty.
Or talking about...
You are the one who started the narrative about saying President Uhuru said a wrong thing. He did not. He actually challenged
you talk until
that
tomorrow,
you cannot
he was wrong.
He was not wrong.
So are we going to just keep back and forth? He was wrong, he wasn't wrong.
Let me switch
He was not wrong.
Ladies.
He was not wrong.
Ladies.
He was wrong.
He was
the same way you were wrong abusing him.
No, he was not wrong.
Would you like me to sit in the middle?
No. She's just being unreasonable. She never convinced me.
I cannot be unreasonable simply because I do not agree with you. Neither do you convince me.
I don't want you to agree with me.
No, I don't want you to agree with me.
No, exactly my point.
I don't want you to agree with me either. But relax. Don't turn red. Don't turn red. You have not even begun. I'm seeing you are turning red. You are blushing.
I'm always red.
No. But you are blushing. You are not blushing.
All right, Senator, question for you. All right, Billy. Hold on, Billy. Senator, question for you. Question for you, Senator.
Maybe.
The man who succeeded you.
Maybe I know you are a heckler.
Listen.
And just be able to have a conversation. Let us have a conversation about that heckling.
So let me ask you this. The man who succeeded you in the Senate as majority whip, Irungu Kangata, wrote a letter to the president.
Right.
And he was supposed to deliver it, but before he did, it leaked. Intentionally or unintentionally. Your thoughts?
Jeff, Irongo Kangata said what we have been saying for the last 2 years. He just finally saw the light. And I may not agree with him on many things, on many issues, but on this one, I'm 100% behind Kangata and that letter. What Kangata said in the letter, however uncomfortable, however much some people may not want to hear it, that is the truth of the matter in the Mount Kenya region or in our region. BBI is, like we have always said, is like selling pork in a mosque. It's a very hard sell, basically. And what he's saying is it's very extremely unpopular. It may be popular in other areas, but in the areas that I have visited, and I've visited quite a few areas, and specifically in that Mount Kenya area, in the Rift Valley, I had that in Kwale the other day, it just seems to not be a priority for Kenyans at this point in time.
So why did he go directly to the president as a
No, the letter was sent to the president. Okay?
He hadn't received it. It leaked before he got to the president.
Now, Jeff, I cannot explain or talk on his behalf as far as why it wasn't just specifically delivered to the president before it leaked. But that's beyond the point. That's besides the point, rather. That's not important. What is important is what was in the letter, the content of the letter. And the content of the letter is precisely what is on the ground in the Mount Kenya region. The BBI is unpopular. Our people, they don't think it's a priority. I actually, as a leader, do not think it's a priority. I don't think it solves what it purports to be solving. I don't think it has enough in it for our people, that would help our people. Rather, it's more adding more burdens to our people. So what Kangata said is right. It is unpopular, and it will most likely not pass in our regions.
Okay. Millie, let me ask you this. If someone in your party wrote a letter, someone senior wrote a letter to your party leader, Prime Minister Raila Odinga, and said all these things, but then leaked it to the press, what would happen to them?
Well, it's not even a question of what will happen to them. The letter by Kangata and the comment by my sister Susan just shows how ineffective the elected leaders of Mount Kenya are. If actually what the situation she's saying is. Because I can tell you for a fact, some of the things that people are not saying here. When we started BBI, it was probably more unpopular, where I come from, than in Central. Why? Because Central actually is benefiting in BBI more than anywhere else. Nobody wants to say that, but that's the reality. Look at the number of constituencies Central Kenya is getting. It's probably higher than anywhere else. When you look at the other issues, then you can actually say that, you know, the benefits cuts then across. Like there are very, very good provisions, increasing, you know, the allocation to the counties from 15 to 35%, increase in the number of women who are, you know, getting into elected places. We have tried it through the National Assembly 6 times, Duale 1 to 6, and we have failed miserably. And now we are actually getting what we have always wanted. So it's actually a good thing. There are very, very many things in BBI that are very good for the country. When people talk about certain issues, like when people tell you they want employment, they want, you know, all that, we will not sit here and say abracadabra employment. There is a process towards that employment. And part of that employment is allocating 35% more to the counties.
Yeah, but Millie,
let me just finish. So that at the county level, then they are able to employ, they are able to sort out the issues that concern them. They are able to sort out the tea sector that, surprisingly, when we were dealing with the tea bill, most of the MPs from Central were not there. It's us who are there. But having said that, yeah, why did the narrative change in Nyanza? In BBI, because as leaders, we took time, went and explained to people why, for instance, in Central, they have to get more than Nyanza. Because of the issue that is, you know, a historical issue. I was in the Constitutional Select Committee in Parliament, and I know, for instance, that the population quota would favor, that should have favored Central, did not favor them. And therefore, we had agreed that Central, at the next opportune time, should have more constituencies.
Yeah, but Irongo Kangata would disagree with you. He says on the ground, mambo ni different.
No. I've not even talked about that. I am telling you that my ground was bad like his. What is the difference between me and him as the leader? I explained, and things became different. So what have they done instead? They have gone and actually made their ground bad. For what will, let us just call a spade and not a big spoon. BBI is being opposed because people like Susan Kihika are selling it as anti-Raila. It is not about whether it's... So they are actually cutting off their legs to spite their noses, or vice versa. Yeah. So Central Kenya is actually throwing out the water, the baby and the water, because the bath water, because they've been, they've demonized Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga. And I want to tell you one thing, why I was able to call Uhuru names, and when Uhuru has come and I am able to support him. Why? Because Honorable Raila Odinga has consistently stood on principles, and we love Raila Odinga. When we support Raila because we love him. We don't support Raila because we hate somebody else. That's not our agenda. But unfortunately, my sister Susan sells a hate for Raila Amolo Odinga. And the country should stop from that.
You know what?
It's not about selling hate of Raila Amolo Odinga. No, I don't assume, because I listen to you. I listen to you. It's not about selling a hatred for Raila until you spite yourself. Even the good things that are coming to you because you hate Raila Amolo Odinga.
Because she let you speak.
And I kept quiet.
I've let her.
Yes.
But give a glass of water. But I'm not.
Okay, let me tell you something, Jeff. The difference between the people in the Mount Kenya region versus the Nyanza people, as she said, we are not cows. We don't just follow blindly, even as leaders.
So are you suggesting we are cows? No, but when she calls us cows, I'd rather you say we are fish, but not cows. We are not cows
of Raila.
No, I've not said I'm a cow. We said we love. No,
they just go because they love, they sell. No,
I said I sell love for Raila. Do not misquote me when I'm here.
Okay.
When I'm here,
don't. A glass of water, madam.
No, I'm not getting it. You are the one I'm giving a glass of water plus tea to calm you. I'll give you plus tea.
Now, let me get back to my point. Can she be quiet so that I can make my point?
I am quiet, but when you are not giving the correct information, I have to tell you. So just say, say the correct thing.
Lily, let her talk.
But you're gonna have
I know you are hurting, but I'll calm you, my sister. Relax.
Lily, calm down.
But she's just saying she's hurting.
Senator,
no. Let me tell you. So in our Mount Kenya region or Rift Valley, those regions, we don't just follow people blindly. We are not just going to be told to jump and say how high. If it's good for our people, we shall support it. We did not feel as though at this point in time, that is what our people need. She keeps talking here about 35% to the counties. Is Millie Odhiambo aware that the government has been right now unable to release over 100 billion shillings to the counties? And that is why the counties are not moving. So when you're talking to me about 35% and they are even unable to release, to give 15% because it's not there, what are we talking about? When the healthcare workers are on strike or going on strike or being fired because the counties have no money, and you're talking to me about 14 billion shillings to go sell BBI, which doesn't make sense to anyone at this point in time. We are not just going to follow because we need to, and nobody, by the way, is against it because of Raila Odinga. He may be the man behind it, but it's just not the right thing. It is an upside-down priority right now, and we shall not sell it in our regions, and it is not a priority right now.
By the way, right now it's looking like it's Raila versus Ruto, you know that? It looks like if the election were held today.
Let me tell you, on our side, it's William Ruto. Very clear, no ifs or buts. On their side, we don't know, because they go to Vihiga, they are singing Mudavadi. They go to Kabarak, it's Gideon. They go to Kalonzo Musyoka's Ukambani, they are saying it's Kalonzo. So every other day, it's somebody else based on where the funeral is.
But you know,
so once they are sure who they want, we are ready, so they can bring whoever their candidate is. We are ready. We are ready. Ours is William Ruto, no secrets, no ifs or buts. Bring it on.
I will tell you, and relax, baby girl.
I'm always relaxed.
That in ODM, it is Raila Amolo Odinga.
Nobody doubted.
Yeah, so don't tell me about when we go here and there. In ODM, we are as clear as daylight. It's Raila Amolo Odinga.
That's fine.
That I can tell you.
Even him.
But having told you that, bring him on. What I can tell you What I can tell you, which would misunderstand me, I'm telling you, we have trusted Raila Amolo Odinga because of the good he has done for this country. And therefore, when we follow Raila and any person that he brings on board, it's because we love Raila for what he's done. We don't follow him blindly. Even I have.
So we have something to measure love. Are we going to talk here about love?
Yeah, we can measure love. We can measure love the way you have just said you love.
The way who loves who more. Like
yeah, but you have just said it. You have said it. You have just said you love Ruto more. You have just said you love Ruto. So it's
so now we are not going to debate who loves Raila.
Yes, we are going to debate who loves Raila more, and we love Raila.
We don't feel the same.
So even us, we don't love Ruto, which is okay. We don't love Ruto, and I have expressed it very clearly in the past. That's why I was telling you out there that I was about to wear blue like you, but then I said this is my blue of telling Ruto off. So because of that I didn't wear it, so that it doesn't look like I'm here to fight. But having told you that, what I can tell you about BBI, it does not matter whether it's Kenya here. The entire world is in recession. But the fact that the entire world is in recession does not mean life stops. We stopped children going to school for a while because of the infection rate. But despite the challenges, we will still continue with education. All that we are trying to do is normalize life as much as we can. So if there are things that need to be changed constitutionally, so that by the time we are getting into elections, everything is set, we will do them. We will do them. But the issue that I am telling you is that, and whether you call it your love for Ruto or whatever, I can tell you we love Raila Amolo Odinga because of what he has done. And that is why, even though I disagreed with Uhuru in principle, when they had the handshake, I am able to embrace him, and you saw me embracing him the other day. Why? Because I don't hate Uhuru Kenyatta. I may have hated the policies that he was espousing at that time. And that is why in Nyanza we are able to embrace Uhuru Kenyatta. Because we don't hate Uhuru Kenyatta as a person.
What about William Ruto?
But why do
can I get to this BBI
we don't
thing?
hate William Ruto. We may not like what he espouses as a person. And I can tell you for a fact now that should William Ruto and Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga decide they are having a handshake and they are coming on an issue and an agenda that is sensible to us, we will work with them, with Raila Amolo Odinga. And guess what? Because we have discipline in our party. Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga can't say this, and you are jumping off saying another. You know.
But today he was in Burma Market. You know that.
Oh, yes, I do.
You saw that.
Yes.
And depending on who you spoke to, either he was really booed, or he was really welcomed.
Cheered, and I actually have both. I have the one. I have the one where he's being cheered,
right,
and the one at the corner where people are carrying the wheelbarrow. And I can tell you, this is politics. In politics, and I'm glad, and I want to tell them that it's okay. Be as expressive as you want. And I want to thank the people, the thousands of people in Burma who are supporting Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga. I have it here, I'll show you, who are cheering Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga, that despite the fact that there were this group that were at the corner, shouting at a corner with the wheelbarrow, they didn't turn, they didn't fight. And guess what? You cannot close people's voices or mouths, and if you continue in that, the next thing you know, it will be replicated.
Senator, I guess it depends on who you ask.
It will be replicated.
It obviously depends on who you ask.
Can I show you here? Why don't I just show you here?
But I don't need to show you because we all saw.
No, I can show you. I can show you.
And as Raila was standing there, everybody was chanting, Ruto, Ruto, wheelbarrows rolling all over. So we know there is a wheelbarrow
And I also have
movement
people who are shouting, and the majority actually, who are shouting,
so anyway,
Raila, Raila, Raila.
Oh,
and can I tell you, I even saw it the other day in Homa Bay.
But anyway, the other day...
No, it was my turn. I gave you time.
I did not finish. You were looking for video.
I did not finish.
No.
Yeah, but looking for the video is my turn. No. Looking for the video is my turn. Before I show you, I was telling you. No. Before you get me to accuse you.
You finished.
No, you also talked too long when I was just quiet. I have not finished. Let me finish.
Okay, finish.
I can tell you that it's the same thing. It's not, that's why I was telling you it's both intra. Yeah? Intra and inter. Intra, you know when you went to schools like St. Mary, you say inter. As we say inter.
Yeah.
Inter and intra.
Yes.
Now when you have the intra, even recently, what's his name? Kidero was in Homa Bay. And I have a video where people are cheering him and going in mountains. But then there's another one at a corner of people doing with social media. That can even be put after. What is there to, so why we there? Did we put the time? So don't tell me that. You can even do it. He could even have been booed. So what? Trump was an excellent booer. Where is he? 20th.
Okay.
He was an excellent. He was excellent at booing.
You've made your point.
Let me get to my
point,
now.
Senator. Your point now.
On the booing, whether he was booed or not, that's for Kenyans to decide. The clip is making it.
And we also have a clip that shows that he was being cheered.
And thank God for social media.
And thank God for social media. We also have Raila being cheered.
The facts are there for themselves.
We have the facts as well.
Really, calm down for a minute.
No, but you cannot mislead Kenya.
Maybe she has water in her mouth.
Mislead Kenya. And don't copy me. I'm the one giving you water.
No.
Okay.
Maybe you can offer me Murzik. I'll give you water for Lake Victoria. Offer Murzik.
Let the senator speak.
No, let her offer Murzik.
I brought you some. It's in the car.
Yes.
So,
me, I'll give you water from Lake Victoria.
We saw what we saw. And it doesn't matter. What matters is you cannot call people taka a few days ago and then today think you are going to go over there and the red carpet will be rolled out for you. So he got what he got for that kind of talk. And I believe as we continue, you must respect people. And there is no two ways to that.
Tell me something.
They can twist it if they want, but
we are not
it's out
twisting.
there.
It's actually, we also have the clip.
There was a point.
We also have the clip.
Do you think there's a disconnect between some of the leaders and the ground? Is there a disconnect?
A big one. Ground in tofauti. Have you heard that? Because they may be talking
it depends on which ground, yours or mine.
Oh, not ours. I'm not even talking about ours.
Yeah, so just talk on your ground, even yours.
As in this. So they can talk all that big talk about whatever it is they are doing and their handshakes and leaving this for that. But the people of Kenya will ultimately, at the end of the day, decide. And why we are so encouraged, and the reason we hold our heads high, is we see it. You see somebody going to Burma today, he gets booed. So they can say all they want to say, but the ground says
nobody has intellectual property rights over Burma. You can boo in Burma and we'll boo you in the next place. Yeah, there's no big deal about booing.
Just accept it.
Yeah, no, he was not booed. That was your corner. He was cheered.
And did you see a wheelbarrow, by the way?
He was cheered.
To see a wheelbarrow?
Yes, I did. But he was cheered.
No, by who?
They were just showing him when he said how many people don't like wheelbarrows and we don't use.
Thank you.
Let me ask you this.
Let me finish one point I wanted on BBI, and then we can move on to the other point that I didn't get to make. I think also the biggest issue with BBI, there is a big disconnect. Because the premise on which it was based, that it's going to bring people together. After elections, we add all these positions, the prime minister, deputy prime minister, and then it's not a winner takes all. But when you look at it, we are still going to elections to elect a president and a deputy president. So still the same two seats. And when they are elected, then the president nominates the prime minister, right? So there's nothing in the BBI that guarantees the president will not bring in somebody from his area. You understand? There's no guarantee. As we stand right now, assuming the position of a prime minister right now is the leader of majority in the National Assembly, Kimunya. He's from the same region as the president. Right. So I don't think that, I think one of the other reasons that it's very, very unpopular is nothing says to me as Susan, as a leader, and to my people, then I'm not able to show my people that if this thing passes, then we shall not have any more issues after elections, because there is nowhere in that BBI that will make somebody concede. And that is the problem we have in Kenya. That is why we have issues after elections. So they can try to make it seem like it's a great thing. Like we're talking about the 35%. We can't even meet the 15%. We are talking about bringing these other 3, 4, 5 positions. There is 45 tribes in Kenya? So in the end, I don't think it will do what it purports to want to do. And that is why. So beyond that...
But let me ask you this, Senator. Let me ask you this real quick. It seems like the problem in your party is there's a lot of dissent. You know, you could never see this in ODM, for instance.
That's
no
what I'm telling you. It's a failure of leadership.
Why is it? Why is it this lack of respect or whatever you want to call it?
My friend Jeff, their party leader,
Sound like, just say that again. You sound like somebody I know.
My friend, Jeff.
Yes.
My friend. Merely talking about respect
for your party leader. For your party leader.
That is laughable.
For and that's a funny joke. I respect my party leader.
Theirs is not just, and I told you what it is. No.
You do not respect your party leader.
You are an intelligent woman.
I respect my party leader.
My being able to disagree does not mean that I don't respect him.
I respect my party leader.
Disrespect is merely standing over there and abusing the president. That's disrespect. You will never find a clip of me disrespecting my party leader. However, Jeff, I am an elected leader by my people. And so a contrary opinion is encouraged in our party because we are a party that believes in democracy. And it is quite clear they have not a bone of democracy in their bodies. And that is why they want to sit there and be given presidency. And now they have somebody talking about rotational presidency. And I want to challenge you. If you believe so much in this rotational presidency, put it in the BBI and let's see that. So they are so used to being given. Now they think because of the handshake, they are waiting to be told, okay, Kenyans, we shall give you this. And we don't believe in that. That is why we shall disagree respectfully. We disagree, but we shall continue to disagree because we believe in democracy. But in their party, they are told to jump. They just say how high.
Jeff, now you will be telling me I'm heckling.
No, you're fine.
What I can tell you is I, Millie Odhiambo, I will disagree with Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga within the party structures. And I have told him respectfully the things that sometimes I don't agree with, like even the first version of the BBI. I pointed to him, I'd rather this goes this way or that way, within the party structures. But you cannot have a party leader where Susan wakes up today, says something, Kangata says another.
We have our thoughts.
Everybody says another. Why do you then have a party structure? There is a limit to which you can say democracy, because democracy must also work within ambits of, their regulations, their systems. Otherwise, why do you have a leader? If everybody can just wake up and say, no, we do.
Do you have a mind
we
of
do
your own?
have our mind of our own.
They would never get a ticket.
Not. Let me tell you, Jeff,
they would never get a ticket. If they talked a little bit against what Raila Amolo Odinga wants,
can you imagine?
She would never be nominated.
I have said
she would never be given a ticket.
My party members, they will tell you, I tell my party leader that this I don't like, this I like.
But within your structures.
Within the party structures.
Our party is dead.
But when you actually,
our party
you'd rather
is
even
dead.
me
It has no structures. If our party has no
look
structures.
At what she's saying.
No,
at one point she's saying she's respecting the party leader. Now the party is dead. When is it coming up? When is it alive?
Listen clearly.
Now Mara Shiju, you are in UD. What is it called? Udaku party.
I will tell you as well.
No.
What I'm saying is we disagree. No, I need to correct something.
It was my turn. It was my turn.
Let me finish what I was saying.
When I need to talk, she's trying to get me, and I am actually I'm trying to be gentle to her because she's younger, both politically and age-wise. So I'm actually trying to be nice to her. Yeah? And that is why I am actually humoring you.
Don't be nice. I can tell you, be nice, Millie.
I am trying.
Be yourself.
Okay.
I am trying.
Finish your point, Millie.
I don't need you. I don't need your mercy. Be yourself.
But I'm being
Millie.
You know, when I was not being merciful, she needed what? Yeah,
Continue.
This is me trying mercy.
Oh, please.
I told you,
my friend.
Not even started.
Right.
My friend.
So what I can tell you is that what they are doing is they are disrespecting their leader, and they are showing the nakedness of the leader. That is actually outrageous. Can you imagine the last time when we were here, it was me, you, her, and Honorable Joyce Laboso. Go and listen to what we said then. It is coming true here. What I told you, sweetheart, I love being right sometimes. And I like telling you, in Kijaluo, I like doing what is called ngongo. I wish I could ngongo for you live on TV. Because what I told you then is happening right
What
on
did you say?
What did you say? Ngongo is making faces. I like making faces. I like ngongo to you.
Too, but
making faces. Making faces. Because,
let me go back to the
what I told her on this page is coming true.
What is coming true?
What I told you in this page, that you are wrong and I was right.
I'm going to take a break.
It's come out.
They're going to continue talking.
On politics.
They're chatting. Let them talk.
Be above this.
Let's take a break. Can we take a break? I'll take a break first. Yeah, and then we'll come back and you can respond.
And this is my turn, and she has to
keep quiet.
No, I will not zip it because you are interrupting. So get ready because you didn't keep quiet. You're gonna find me right after this.